Ravings from the grave and salutations everyone. Dr. Redfield and I'm here to share with you all my newest project. This is my 60-in-1 Jamma board upgrade to an original 1983 Miss Pac-Man cocktail table.
The Miss Pac-Man Cocktail Resurrection will now begin.
Let's dig in. Welcome back, and it has been a while since my last post, but fear not, Dr. Redfield has been at it trying to just keep bringing back those things from the grave, the things that once were and shall be again, the things that once were and shall be again.
Control yourself, Dr. Redfield.
When I got this thing, it was dirty and it was faded and there was glue and scuff marks on it. Nothing powered on, nothing worked. I opened it up and inside there was nothing I could do that was going to get that thing to work. So I decided from there on I was going to gut the screen, that CTR TV. I know it's blasphemy to do so, but I decided to gut everything. Go with the new board, the new power setup, new joysticks, and then add an amplifier, add new speakers, and put in a new screen. So yeah, the first thing I had to do was remove everything from this beauty. You open it up, there's a couple little latches inside, click, click, boom. It opens right up and you can see there were some rusty parts to this and we could not get it going. But it did have an original Mrs. Pac-Man CPU. I did not damage that. I carefully removed that and set that aside because I know that there is some Miss Pac-Man purist out there who will want this and will want to use it. Somebody's got to want this old Miss Pac-Man board, right? Come on. But yeah, once I started looking at that old CTR TV in there.
Again, CRT TV, not CTR TV, Doctor.
There was 30-something years of burned imagery onto it and it was completely useless. I ended up upgrading it with a lacy 19-inch screen that was actually like the perfect size. When I tried to remove that TV screen, let's just say I felt old in that moment, folks. Like trying to remove that big TV, I definitely hate that thing. Yes, fuck you.
Now that's not nice, Dr. Redfield.
This new screen dropped in perfectly, put a little couple foam wedges in there, and it just fit like a glove. Put in new Bose speakers, as opposed to just having one speaker in the port. I put two speakers on each vent grill that was on each side. And with the new power system in place, the new Jamma boards, the new wires, the new harness, I added an amplifier to it to go to the speakers so that you can control the sound and audio. Yes, you can control the sound, the volume in here, but I added an amplifier so that once you open the door, you could just turn the volume right then and there, adjust the bass, adjust the treble, and go from game to game without having to shut everything down, adjust the volume, and come back and do all that. No, you can adjust it right there and quick on the fly. So I took everything apart. I repainted all the grills, I repainted all the latches, the edge, the wood trims, and that original paneling I just tried to clean up as much as I can. I cleaned the glass and removed any glue and sticky residue that's left on behind, and this thing probably sat in a pizza joint or a bar place for so long, and that's one of the reasons why I did this project. Was there was such a nostalgia to it. I've got all these other creations and pinball machines, but I didn't have a cocktail unit, and it was a passion project, a bucket list project, something I wanted to do before the end.
Nostalgia is a disease.
So yeah, I had to do some testing, make sure everything worked, fired it all up, and then I put it all in place and put it all back together. And from there, it was really simple. So the 60-in-1 board and the Jamma board, it was a real quick, simple plug and chug. But the only issue I ran into was the original Miss Pac-Man harness that was with this, that I was trying to use for the joysticks and buttons to hook up to. It was tarnished, it was trashed, it had been spliced, and let me just show you guys. This thing is not pretty, things had been just put together in such awkward ways and things were ripped out. I didn't know what to do. So I went online and I bought myself a Jamma harness board thinking that, that's gonna work, it's gonna be the same thing.
The Miss Pac-Man harness has 22 pins while the Jamma harness has 28 pins.
And I didn't think I'd be able to use it. These were really expensive compared to the Jamma board. I tried to see if I could bring this thing back to life, but after several failed attempts, I couldn't deal with it. So I went back to that Jamma harness board and noticed that the pins and everything are actually all the same spacings apart. They were all the same size. And I just decided I'm going to start here on this one end and just count that as one, and then match it up with the Miss Pac-Man harness board as one as well. Go through all the way to 22 and just make it work. So what I did was I took the pins that weren't being used, and I kind of filled them with super glue, and now when you put that board into place and it lines up, you have to start it all the way to the left. It's got to be perfectly lined up, but then it works. Once I got the buttons and joystick and everything figured out and everything kind of put into place, I did some tests with it, make sure everything powered up, and I have brought this device back to life. Fantastic.
The Ms. Pac-Man Resurrection now complete.
But yeah, some of you purists out there and be like, oh, you replaced the CTR TV
And
screen
again,
with a
it's
flat
CRT
screen.
TV and not CTR TV. There will be repercussions for this error, Doctor.
But let me just say, I understand LCD screens typically have issues with angles and stuff like that. I didn't use an LCD screen. I used a Lacy computer monitor, which is essentially overkill for this purpose, but it looks so good and you can see from all of the angles. So when you're sitting here for player 1 or player 2, you'll have everything that you're gonna need. So yeah, these 2-player games, this is what it's all about on this cocktail unit. Oh, damn it, I just died. All right, player 2, if you're gonna beat me, you've gotta keep your head in the game.
Very funny, Dr. Redfield. That seems like a very practical use of company resources. Tips for the 60-in-1 board.
Alright, so I've got this set up that I've just got the, I've got a power strip in here with a button. We're just gonna turn that off, lift this up. Got the power strip right here, everything plugs into. We've got the amplifier right here running to the speaker. This one runs to this speaker over here. The Lacy monitor goes back into here, runs down. Is the power source going into here? Now this right here, this blue pen setup, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is used for flipping the screen, so if you go to play and the screen is rotated the wrong way, just plus number 1. Number 2 is to let you know whether you have a CTR TV or an LCD.
Stop calling it a CTR
it's not a CTR,
TV,
so I have
Dr.
it up
Asshole.
to on. Number 3 is used so that you can keep your high scores. So if you're wanting to do something like that, you're definitely going to have it to number 3. And number 4 is how you fix and adjust things. So remember 4 for fixing. We're just going to turn this on. You ever turn your board on and that green light right there is red? You've got issues and your board is fried. With the green lights going, everything's working. As you can see, I have a Jamma harness board attached to here, and here's the extra pins that are hanging off. As you see, I'm definitely not using the pins on this end, and I'm only using what's running into here. Okay, let's close this up. As you see, we've got this screen coming on. So it's saying press S2 for next.
A is S1, B is S2, and C is S3 if available.
So clear high scores. Nope, we want to go to next. When you get up in here, you can see all the different settings that you're going to have that you can change for this 60-in-1 board. The biggest one that I concern myself with is, do you want the demo music on? Yes or no. I like it on because it's not that bad. Free play, you're going to want it on free play, or else you're going to have to rig it to set up so the coins and stuff actually work. Not a big deal, but I don't feel like dealing with all that. The next one down here is cabinet. You're going to want it with this setup set in cocktail mode. Because what you want to have happen is you want to be able to play with player 1 plays, and when they die, player 2 will play from over here, and the screen just flips and rotates. If you have a stand-up cabinet, the board will still work in that, but you just switch it from that mode. Now to go down there to change that, here's what kind of messes with people, and that actually messed with me for a little bit trying to figure it out, is when you go down, let me see if I can get all this in one action. Going down brings you down to demo music. But if you hit down again, it's just going to bring you to the next screen, and we don't want to do that. So actually on your joystick, hit right, and it brings you down. Game demo, hit right again. There. Cabinet mode. So I can go down here and actually S1 on or off. So upright controls, cocktail, upright, or cocktail. I want it in cocktail. So now S1, S2, and we're going to move on through. Now what this is going to allow you to do is it's now going to go through all 60 games, and you're going to get a chance to change different things. Like with Miss Pac-Man, you can change the amount of lives, the difficulty, the speed, and the bean. I'm not sure what bean is, but all the other things you could change. Just remember that with this system, there is no hit a home and rewind button or a home and start button to go back, you have to die and expend all your lives. The game ends, and then it goes back to the home screen to select another game. So if you're going to add a bunch of extra lives, think about that before you start rotating through. But yes, all 60 games you can go through, you can change lives. Except some of the games don't have all the features, like as many features that you can modify as others, but they let you, modify this. You can see the list it's quite impressive. If you like the retro games and you sit around and play this in a pizza joint or, the laundromat or someplace, now this will be for you. Now we get to the screen right here. It's saying volume adjust. I kind of bypassed all that because as you see right inside here, I have an amplifier that I will use. I will just turn that on, and I can adjust the volume, adjust the treble, adjust the bass, and everything like that. Ooh. Yep, that's at home music. So I don't even need this, because every time you need to adjust this, you'd have to go back to this screen by doing number 4 and coming back. So we're going to keep on moving through. And here's where you can actually do the test for all your buttons, so you can see what's going on. So like a player 1, up, down, left, right, whoa, boom. Now, if any of them come up blue, that means that's where you have an issue and you're going to have to figure out what's going on. And that right there is running through the system. So now what I'm going to do, just going to reach in back, turn it off, lift up, come over here, turn off number 4. Remember, 4 is to fix. It's my power button, it's essentially just right here. It's going to do its initializing. It literally only takes a minute.
The Ms. Pac-Man Cocktail Resurrection.
But yes, thank you all for tuning in and checking out my Miss Pac-Man Cocktail Resurrection. We have brought back life into this old girl, and I'm going to spend many hours enjoying it.
That is creepy, Doctor.
So thank you all for tuning in. Once again, I am Dr. Redfield. Remember, play and slay, play until dead. Yeah, I'm going to play until dead. Let's get ready for some 2-player action. Huh.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Your sanity may depend on it. This has been a production of Things to Rot Your Brains.